Let it land on the back cast.
Lines out the tip of the rod.
Catch a gorgeous fish! Oh, get him in there, yeah! Hey, what's up guys? Nick the Informative Fisherman here. Today we're going to be fishing out on Pyramid Lake, but before we got out there, we decided to stop in the new Reno Fly Shop. We got Matt Heron back on the show. You guys know Matt from the original How to Fly Fish episode. We got Matt's buddies out here. We got Stefan, which is an awesome photographer and angler. We got Doug, who guides out there on Pyramid, and we got Dave, the old owner of the original Reno Fly Shop, who's an awesome guide out there on the lake. So why don't you guys follow us out there? We're gonna break down what we're doing on the water, hopefully hammer some big fish for you guys, and show you guys the stars who we really got here with us today. So let's go hop out on the water.
So after leaving the fly shop, we happened to pass by the very first spot my grandfather ever took me when they moved to Reno to go fishing on the Truckee River. After seeing that spot for the first time since he passed away, I knew the day was going to be incredible. We stopped at Crosby's Lodge for the permits to go fishing and for me to have the opportunity to drool all over those Lahontan cutthroats that they had mounted up all over the walls in there, and then it was time for us to hit the water. Hey, and a big special thank you to the Alkaline Company for always taking care of my waders and my boots for my father and I.
So we made it down to the beach. We're gonna haul out some ladders, haul the gear down, hopefully get on them. Come on out.
Okay, this is a Lahontan cutthroat trout, and it's a summit strain. Has the adipose there on the pilot peak. They're taking that adipose off down here by my thumb.
So the summit strain's got the adipose fin. She knew right where to go.
Yes. Yeah, they're trying to take a lot of the adipose off of the pilots.
So the pilots are what their stocking program, right?
Both of them, yeah.
Both of them, okay.
Okay,
Nice.
she needs a little bit of air there.
All right, well we can get her revived and get her going.
You got that going? Is that
Oh
good?
yeah, it's gorgeous, yeah.
Okay, we'll get some more. There she goes. Right on. Yeah, we'll cover that here in a little bit. That's good. Very good retreat.
Probably don't have to strip anymore, Nick.
Yeah, no, I
He's
know.
just going to lift his head, get his head out.
Yep.
This is a boy fish here.
Whoa, baby. He wants to go.
Lift his head. Grab his head.
Yep. There we go. Yeah!
We're following.
Woo! Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah!
Fish, gorgeous.
This is my first Lahontan right here, Lahontan.
Lahontan.
Yeah!
Yeah.
You better come get a picture of this, Stefan. We got Stefan McLeod. This guy's an amazing photographer, so I ain't gonna let him miss my fish, because if I got a guy wanting to take a photo, that's the dude I'm going after right there. Here we go, out here Tahoe trout bumming it, baby. Man, out here with the best of the best when it comes to Pyramid. The best photographers, Matt fishing with them last year, and really getting back out here with them, meeting a bunch of new cool guys. These guys are just cool to hang with, let alone fish with. These are the guys to do it with, guys. Get out here and get on them. I was hooked up about 3 casts before this, and Doug was showing me some different casting styles, and I'm gonna have him break it down to you. I'm still a novice when it comes to this, but let's get this fish revived.
You put him right back in the net there.
All right.
Beautiful.
Open him gills back up for him.
Good. He's good for 3 days if he's in the water, just like that. Beautiful.
Now,
Well,
what fly was that on?
That was on the original popcorn beetle.
Is that this guy down here?
This guy
right here?
Yeah.
The popcorn beetle, the original, which Doug ties.
This is a popcorn beetle, and I named it the popcorn beetle because when you tie a bunch of them, they feel like the popcorn packing material, because they're real buoyant. And I use the 3mm foam as opposed to 2mm, which a lot of imitations are 2mm, but this is 3mm, very buoyant. And I designed it with that lip in the front. You see there, here in the front, and that displaces water, so it wiggles while you retrieve.
Gives it some action.
And when you stop, it floats up, and that's when they like to grab.
I was just talking to the guys last night. I said I don't see a lot of flies with action, and Doug actually implemented in that tie design to cause some action there. Just on that straight retrieve, when it has a lip like that kicking back, that's going to force that fly to work around. And just like I was doing right there, doing that, what did you call it there? The pyramid hop?
The pyramid bounce.
Pyramid bounce. You know, just doing that, I'm sure that thing was kicking all over the place. That was not a soft take at all on that fish. That fish actually, boom, crushed it. And I felt right there, just strip out behind my finger and started going. Absolutely awesome fly, man. You're gonna have to tie me some of those.
I will. I'll get you some of those in no time.
Awesome. Let's get this fish going.
Great fly, very simple, very effective.
Let me take my hands off your gill plates. Come on.
Good, and he'll swim right off.
Come on. There you go. Bye-bye.
We have very high alkali water, and these fish are very resilient. They're
The
very
alkali,
strong.
what is that? What is that?
It's a high pH content.
Okay.
The pH is 7 is neutral, and if you go below that, it's more acid water, and here it's more alkali water.
And that's what these Lahotans thrive on, right?
Absolutely.
This is why they like this lake so much, right?
Yes. Now they put them in fresher water with less alkali. They don't do nearly as well.
Okay.
They bring them back here where they were supposed to be, and they really blow up.
This lake is absolutely incredible. This is the premier spot for those bad boys right there. You want to get on a fish like that, that's the smaller ones, I'm telling you. We were back at the shop up there. These things are freak. That thing was bulldogging me, stripping line. I have yet to catch a fish like that on the fly, aside from a striper, let alone a trout. And to know that there's just giants in here that can potentially smoke us at any moment, I got to get back out there, man. Let's go get them.
Yeah, we're using 15 pound tests of the first fly and 12 to the second.
12 to the second.
Because we're going after the big animal.
Yeah.
If they grab, we want to be ready.
The first one I hooked up, I did this little weak sissy hook set because when I first started fly fishing, I was breaking everything off.
Yeah.
You know, that time he's like, no, swing it like you mean it. So it's whap. And, oh yeah, that was awesome, man. Let's get after him.
Real ski rope on there. So
yeah, watch your head.
Well done, Nick.
Thank you, sir.
And you're gonna get more on this fly. So.
Oh, I got a feeling.
Yeah.
I'm amped. I'm ready to go.
Hang with us, guys. We'll be right back. You know, a big special thanks to the people at the Ferrari's Crown Resort in Lake Tahoe there. If you guys are in the area, you know, this is where they put us up for the evening. What a fantastic location. Right there on the beach. You can walk right across the street and go get a bite in many of the little restaurants right there. Great staff. I couldn't ask for much more. I appreciate you guys putting me up. If you're in Lake Tahoe, guys, make sure to check out this place first. What a fantastic location. Attention Northern California anglers, have you been to Boat Country in Escalon? With one of the largest selections of welded aluminum fishing boats from Weldcraft, Lowe, and Hughescraft, chances are they've got the right fishing boat for you. And did I mention they have a full service center to take care of all your boating, repair, and maintenance needs? If you're a boat owner or just looking to become one, you owe it to yourself to check these guys out. Visit BoatCountryUSA.com or stop on by. I'll see you there. Try pulling a planer board next to your boat when trolling or fishing from a swift current bank? If not, you're missing out on one of the most phenomenal fish catching machines on the market today. With Yellowbird planer boards pulling your lines perpendicular to your boat, you can't help but catch more fish. Find out more by visiting www.yellowbirdproducts.com. Been thinking about trying out kayak fishing or already into it and just want some sick upgrades for your rig? It's time to check out the Headwaters Kayak Shop. Come pick the brains of their knowledgeable staff and make sure to ask about their awesome demo program to find the right kayak for you. Or stop in and rent one with Lodi Lake right down the street. The Headwaters Kayak Shop fits all your yakking needs. Tell them if sent ya. Did you know that Beeline makes specialized lines for all your fishing needs? From the super strong abrasive resistant CXX or the low stretch super stealthy CX Premium, or maybe you're looking for invisibility or super bite detection with Beeline's 100% fluorocarbon. No matter what your needs, Beeline's got it covered. To find out more, visit Beeline.com.
Beeline, baby.
Have you been to rustylures.com? Did you know they offer free shipping on anything over $29.99? And with all the latest and greatest in bass fishing gear, from punching tackle, umbrella rigs, swim baits, and you name it, there's really no reason for you not to be getting the best deal online today. So go to www.rustylures.com. Did you ever wish for an RC boat when you were a kid? And do you have a passion for fishing? Well, guess what? It's time to do them both at the same time. With RCFishingWorld.com's RC Fishing Pole, it's time to be a kid again. So visit www.rcfishingworld.com today. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to the show.
This is the original popcorn beetle. Right here. Okay. And this is a 49er. Black, red and gold. And then a tiger. And it's copper with amber and then black. Okay. Then this is a booby. Been mauled pretty good.
Nice.
And here's the original pollywog that was stolen and renamed a tadpole. Okay, so that's the original pollywog, 2 years before the tadpole. Alright.
So I guess Sugar's living life.
And it's got purple on the bottom there, and then black 3mm foam and a black rabbit tail, and you can substitute tail for marabou if you want. And then this is 3mm foam, not the 2mm. The reason why this is better because it's the buoyancy, and it creates a lot of action. I designed this with the bigger lip, so it goes through the water, it wiggles, and when you stop to retrieve, it'll float up, and that's when the fish like to grab it. Yeah, those are good.
I think it ate the first fly by the time I sent it.
Oh, you got them. Get the bonus bite.
White tips on his fins. That's the old
Another summit.
Summit Lake fish there. Pretty much. Thanks. Yeah, and then the pilot peak fish that they put in here recently, the last 8 or 10 years, all have their adipose fin or have it cut off. These all still have it. But they're basically just two different populations of fish that they took out of here way back when and put them in different waters in Nevada. And then
This particular fish is a summit fish, and you can see it has an adipose fin on the back. Now, the original strain was the Pilot Peak strain. They're all Lahot and cutthroats, and there's 2 strains. The Pilot Peak became extinct in the lake in the 1930s and reintroduced again about 6 or 7 years ago. They had put the original strain in a small creek up in the Utah-Nevada border, and they just found them again about 10 or 12 years ago, and about 6, 7 years ago they put them back in. When they put them back in, they were smaller fish, about 18 inches, and they blew up really fast in this alkali water. So now we have basically 2 strains. The Summit, which replaced the Pilot, and this is a Summit here, replaced the Pilot Peak fish, and they're a mixture of Walker Lake and Summit Lake, Nevada. So it was kind of a mixture of genes for that cutthroat, and they'll also get pretty big. But the Pilot Peak fish are very aggressive. Both of them are very carnivorous. They feed on the tui chub and each other. So the 2 strains of Lahot and cutthroat, they're the largest in the entire world. So wherever you go on the globe on Earth, this is the place where the biggest Lahot and cutthroat live. It's almost like a Jurassic Park type of thing. This fish here is an average size fish, a pretty nice fish, probably about 22 inches, maybe 23 inches, and they get up to 25 pounds now. Originally, the world record is 41 pounds in 1941 by a guy named Johnny Skimmerhorn, and that was here in Pyramid Lake. And this year we've caught some nice 15 to 20 pound fish on a couple of the guide trips that we do with the Truck River Outfitters, and it's just an outstanding fishery, very, very unique fishery, one of a kind. On the left we have the Pyramid, and that obviously is the name of the lake, Pyramid Lake, named by John Fremont. And over to the right, the little mountain you see there is actually Anaho Island, and that's a bird sanctuary. No one's allowed to get onto that island. It's off limits, and that's Anaho Island. We're going to go over a couple of retrieves here at Pyramid Lake. There's a couple of good ones depending on the conditions. One of my favorites I call the Pyramid Bounce, and I want the rod to be just off the water a little bit, and as I retrieve, when I do my strips or my pulls during the retrieve, I want to bounce the rod like this. So I get a nice rhythm going with a nice little bounce. Okay. A lot of times this is going to get a reaction grab from the fish. This is a very good one. It's called the bounce. Nick was using this earlier. Got a fish on it. That was the bottom there. You want to keep a good rhythm going. And then about 3/4 way through you can stop if you'd like. let it pause a little bit, and start your bounce again. Okay? Now if you notice my hands are together, that's very important. You don't want to be out here when you're doing this. If a fish grabs, you're going to be out of position to set the hook. And you usually want to set the hook with your hands. Okay? One of the biggest mistakes in freshwater angling is trying to set with the rod. And a lot of the saltwater guys, they'll set with their hands like I do in freshwater. So if I was going to set the hook here, my hands are together, and I'm going to set the hook here, as opposed to this. Okay, when you lift up in the rod, you got a lot of sponge going on, and what you want to do is keep a real tight line, the shortest distance to their mouth and to their lip to set the hook. So you're going to set here. Okay, so you saw the bounce. Now there's also, if you can see what I'm doing here with this, maybe I'll come around the other side. There's a hand retrieve, which a lot of people know. Okay, I'll get some more line out. You can tuck your rod underneath your arm, and you can do the roly-poly. Now if you do the roly-poly, you want your thumbs to be out this way instead of overlapping, so you want to do this, okay, with the roly-poly, and you can speed it up real fast. Okay, I'll get some more line out here, and then we'll do another retrieve. Now this is a retrieve I developed years ago for fishing chironomids in still water without an indicator. And what I'm going to do is put it right in the groove with my index, roll it over with the thumb, and push back out with the index. So I'm going to catch it here, just like that.
Yeah, dude.
That's the retrieve.
Back surgery.
Takes a bit of dexterity. It's very good because you're in contact with your line quite a bit. Okay, so that's a good retrieve there, without an indicator and a floating line. Also, I'll recast here.
I had parents, friends, and stuff going in for back surgery. Yeah, I'm tired of taking pain.
Okay.
Jacked up.
Another good retrieve is the pyramid bounce. I think we covered that a little bit ago. We're going to let the line settle, keep the rod off the water, about 1.5 feet, and bounce it. Make sure the rod's going to bounce. Right now the rod's bouncing up and down as I'm retrieving aggressively. Okay? That works really good, especially when there's no wind. When this lake gets real windy, it's usually best to go slow draws. And when it gets super windy, I want to put the rod tip right down into the sand when it gets super big waves, and just crawl it real slow. Okay? Now, another really good retrieve for here is a long pull with a little pop at the end. So it's pull, pop, pull, pop, pull, pop. Okay, pull, pop. That's a good one too. So you want to do this pull, pop, the bounce. Okay, and the original hand twist, and then the finger flick like this, which I like. And there's also the roly-poly, where you can have the rod here, and you're going to retrieve with your thumbs out, and you're going to retrieve your line real fast. Okay? All right.
This particular setup I'm using is probably a setup most any fly fisherman has. You have obviously a fly rod with a floating line, and then we use an indicator with weighted nymphs to suspend below it. You can use regular trout weight stuff, 5 weight, 6 weight, 7 weight is pretty much what people use out here. And so it makes it doable for anybody that's got a fly rod, pretty much. You're just gonna cast that indicator out there. You don't have to cast super far. You're suspending those flies just past the drop off in front of you. So you don't want it way out there necessarily. And it doesn't require a lot of casting. Pretty much most of the time you're just sitting there watching that indicator as the wind blows it from one side to the other. On calm days, you probably want to strip that line in just a little every 30 seconds or so, move those flies. Today we got a nice chop, and so the indicator's bobbing up and down and jigging those flies for you, which gives them good motion. But like I say, on a calm day you can retrieve it just a little and then let it sit there again. The leader setup on the for indicator, the way I set it up is I put 4 or 5 feet of about 12-pound test from my fly line out, and then to that I tie a 5 or 6 foot piece of 8-pound test and tie a fly to the end of that and another fly beyond that. Let me get that up here. So you got one fly there and then the other one down here. And they just hang directly below that indicator, and as the waves come in and out, jigs them up and down, and as the fish cruise those shelves, hopefully they eat your fly when they swim by. That's the plan anyway.
So if you'll notice, the wind has shifted on us here the last few minutes, and what's happening now is for all of us being righties, the wind is blowing into our right shoulder, and this normal overhand cast no longer is going to work, because what's going to happen is that line and that leader and that indicator setup, whatever you're using, is going to get blown into us. Oh, I thought he had one for a second. That wind is going to blow everything into you. So one, it's a pain in the butt because you might get tangled, but two, you might hook yourself, which obviously is the worst case scenario. So there's two casts we can do to try to fix that. One is just presenting the line or the cast off our downwind shoulder. You never want to cast with that line blown into you. So what we're going to do is take our cast, what would be off our right shoulder, and put it on our downwind shoulder, and it's going to look something like this. What's happening now is when we make that cast, everything's getting blown down away from us. I'm still far away from Nick because I'm not going to hit him. And you're in really good shape for not getting tangled. The other one is what we call presenting on the back cast. When the wind really gets ripping, what you can do is actually face away from your target. So in this case, I'll be facing the beach. Make your normal off your normal shoulder cast, except you're going to present it on the back cast. And again, it keeps the line and everything downwind from you, so it's going to look something like this. Facing away from your target, and you let it land on the back cast. And right there is a nice straight cast.
So this is an old pyramid technique. It's a shooting head. So what this is, you have two kinds of line involved here. You see the yellow line, and then I'm not too sure how well the camera can see it, but the darker line. So what this is, it's two lines tied into one. Most fly lines are incorporated. They are one solid fly line. This is a shooting head. So what it is, the 30 foot, the actual shooting head is very heavy and it sinks like a brick. This sinks at about 7 inches per second. So it gets you down pretty deep. So with that said, the yellow line, the running line, floats. And if you give this a good solid 15-20 second count, you can get down pretty far, effectively 15, maybe 20 feet if you're lucky. And it's kind of cool too. It's a lot less involved in casting. Once you hear the knot, where the two lines are tied together, go through the end of the rod. That's your cue to fire your cast forward. You don't want to mess around with too much false casting with shooting heads. That's where you run into problems because you have such a heavy line immediately connected to a light line. So the fulcrum is kind of thrown off balance and it doesn't load very well. But with that said, if you can get the casting down, it can be very effective. You can throw well over 100 feet of line with one double haul. Double haul meaning you're letting line out on your back cast and on your front cast. A single haul, your back cast goes back but you're not releasing line. On your front cast is when you open up your release hand and you let line out. So if you're decent at double hauling, theoretically you can get a 100 foot cast with just one haul. Now I'm going to be doing off shoulder casting. As Matt was explaining earlier, being a right-handed caster, the wind is coming out of the southwest. So it's trying to blow the fly and the fly line right into my face, which can be very, very dangerous. So what I'm going to do is what's called the off shoulder double haul. So I'm going to turn and face my back towards the wind. Take a cast, get that knot out the tip of the line. Fire it forward. There's a couple hauls involved there, but it is pretty windy. So that's generally how a right-handed caster is going to cast when the wind is coming in his right side. It's a lot less dangerous. You're actually turning around. It's a little bit more complicated. And the one downfall with that is a lot of things can go wrong because the schematics are off. You're facing the wrong direction, you're throwing off shoulder, but it's really, in winds like this, it's the only safe and effective way to cast. If I were to be casting off to my right side right now, I would probably be hitting myself in the face or in the back of the head, which is not what you want with these big pyramid lake flies. So you have the shooting head here, you have some yellow line, this is the running line, and it's floating. And I'm stripping it in. The shooting head has already sunk. I'm probably about 7 or 8 feet deep. The water is not particularly deep here. And basically, in a few more strips, you're going to hear the clicking sound, which is going to, here it comes. There's my shooting head coming back in the tip of my rod. So now the flies they're getting pretty close to the end of the rod. And out here at Pyramid, you have to be really, really, really careful because these fish are notorious for coming up and hitting the fly right when they're up at the tip of your rod. I mean, at the second you think your flies are out of the water, fish will come up out of the water and eat them. So at Pyramid, you never start your cast over until you've visually looked at your flies and seen nothing behind it. That's kind of the old Pyramid MO. So once again, now actually the wind is at my back, so let me step away from the cameraman a few feet. Now I can cast normally with the shooting head. So you'll see, get a few feet of line out. I'm gonna do one haul, lines out the tip of the rod, fire it forward, and the wind helps now because it's at my back. So that was very little effort to put over 100 feet of line out. And you see all too often with fly fishing, you see people false casting just so much, and they're just burning energy. They're just wearing themselves out. They're not getting any more distance with each one of their false casts. So that can fatigue you big time, especially a day like this, sun up to sundown, all day on a lake. So shooting heads work well. They work well. Pyramid, it's a no-brainer. Everyone's got a shooting head out here. But when you're fishing stillwater, shooting heads are fantastic. A great way to cover lots of water. It doesn't burn you out, and you can get some really, really long casts.
All right, so what's going on here is the wind's pushing on our back now, and you're fishing from the bank from trout. A lot of the time they're following the food that's getting blown in. You generally want the wind in your face, but we got the wind to our back now. So we're gonna go look and find another area that Doug was talking about, and hopefully that would get the wind position working to our favor. That would be more towards our face. We're not really seeing the roaming fish that we were earlier with the wind blowing into our face, so that's a real indicator that it's probably best to pull up and make a move at this point. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so now we made it over to Nets Beach. You can see the waves are breaking directly into us here. So we know more than likely it's gonna be a better spot. We seen pelicans feeding right when we first came up. Guy out there, we don't know him, but he was hooked up right when we first came up. Got seagulls swirling around, more than likely looking at bait. So all the signs look good for us, so let's get out there, guys. Hopefully we can put another big one on film. Boy, Stefan!
Oh yeah.
See the tank?
No, I was a little further out.
Sweet, dude. You called it too, you're like, I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm telling you, man, having the right attitude, I felt it.
Nice, dude.
Gorgeous little female there. Pretty fish, for sure. First of the day, so give him some love. Nice little gentle release, and that's Pyramid for you. Hand the rod. 49er. Yeah. Stripping or indoor?
Yeah.
We'll get the 49er in there.
Hello, everybody.
Yeehaw! I've never had the opportunity to get a fish on the reel, and now I have. Yeah. Oh yeah, take a little line. Stay down, baby. Bringing him around, man. Just following him. Okay, you can go that way if you want. Yeah, baby. Woo! Take a drag. Pyramid Lake cutthroat. The Hottens, man. I don't know how it can get much cooler than this. Out here fishing with the best crowd around.
Nice
Awesome
fish.
group of guys.
Nice
Catching
fish.
gorgeous fish. Oh, get him in there, yeah. Yeah. Woo, another nice male.
Another nice fish. Took it good. Took it nice and deep.
Dude, that guy crushed it. Ching, 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 ching. Fire.
Need some mojo.
There it is, there it is.
Nailed it.
Oh yeah, chompy chomp.
You want to hold them up?
Chomp. Yeah.
You hold them and I'll put the net underneath.
If you're gonna force me to.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Don't force me to pose with fish now.
I will force you, baby. Okay, let me hold it.
Yeah, you can put that behind me there.
Yep.
Come here, you bad boy. Oh yeah.
There he is, baby.
Look at that.
Hot and cuts.
Yeah.
Nice fish.
There we go. Out here fly fishing Pyramid Lake, doing it Tahoe trout bum style. Having an absolute blast on this trip, and this trip's just getting better and better. Stuck it out, fighting the elements, but man, I mean, look at the rewards you get on this lake. What a gorgeous fish.
Very
Go ahead
nice.
and get them back in here.
Nice. Very nice, man. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Nice
Bye-bye,
fish.
bud. Well, guys, that's it. We put in a valiant effort out here. We got on some really nice quality fish. We didn't stick the giant Lahontan, but maybe that'll be in a later episode for you guys. But I got to catch 2 of them. The fish were pretty spread out amongst us all, but hopefully you guys got some really good tips out of this. You get out here, try it yourself, call up Dave, call up Doug. These guys will put you on the fish and you'll have an absolute blast doing it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Oh my God, that was a huge one. There he is.
God, he's all over it.
Oh,
All over, got him, got him. Yeah.
something cool one. Neither of mine did, but be ready. You know, a few seconds, if you hit him right on the turn, you know, he'll be right back.
Yeah, look at that football. There we go, baby.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, baby. Hey, what's up, guys? Nick the Informative Fisherman here, and today we're putting a little episode together for you on how to fly fish. I dabble a little bit. I'm not good by any means, so this is why I had to